This week, we saw the release of the KCSE results. It was done with the usual pomp and circumstance, complete with an announcement to the press of the same and an invitation to live coverage. Now, while they gave quite a bit more information regarding how they conducted and monitored the entire examination exercise, it once again, as per tradition, culminated in the announcement of the best performing students in the country, this time including the list of most improved students and schools. Now, it would seem that while we stopped the ranking of schools years ago, we still have a hangover from the old times when it comes to this ritual. I find the adherence to this razzmatazz quite puzzling, considering we are right in the middle of a transition to the CBC curriculum. It was aptly named the competency-based curriculum, and it has been designed, according to its proponents in government, to bring out a well-rounded individual. It is touted as focusing on 7 key competencies, namely communication, collaboration, critical thinking and problem solving, imagination and creativity, citizenship, learning to learn, self-efficacy, and digital literacy. It specifically moves away from the obsession with one big exam that is the key decider of one's fate and a determinant of one's future. The only gateway to success, it has been called. We've heard the Cabinet Secretary himself say that we should move away from this fascination with exams. Now, granted, we are still in transition to this new curriculum and to this total mind shift. Granted also that the KCPE and KCSE results just released were of learners who are currently sitting through this current 844 curriculum. But perhaps we can, in line with the spirit of transition, do away with these grand announcements. What purpose do they serve other than to make this such a high-stakes game, than to hold the country's collective breath, awaiting that all-important announcement that is carried live on all national TV stations? But even without the ranking of schools, this still serves to stratify the learners into dichotomous extremes of failure and success. It is no wonder that the top students all want to be doctors, engineers, and neurosurgeons, and no one, seemingly at least, wants to be a social worker, an electrician, a teacher, or even a journalist. If we are indeed moving to a new system that eases the pressure of one big life-changing event that is KCPE or KCSE, maybe we can give this ritual a rest. As we adapt to a new way of doing things and finally moving towards the CBC, I suggest too that this mind shift is not only for those in the Ministry of Education, but perhaps for us in the media too, scarring the face of the country to find the best of the best, hoisted shoulder high, much to the dismay of others who would rarely get this coverage. That we can change our questions from praising the fact that the winners had to study for hours and hours on end in this rote learning that is our system, and perhaps switch to different questions, like what did you learn from your entire experience throughout school? And on this, I myself am guilty as charged. You see, folks, an education is not just about a grade or a mark and the subsequent cramming and rote learning geared towards one all-important event. It is about the principles that it instills in us. In fact, one of my mentors once told me that a degree doesn't necessarily give you a job, but it makes you trainable. I dare say that dropping this annual tradition would be the first step towards this mind shift. A general statement regarding the monitoring exercise, overall trends noticed, will do just fine. I mean, after all, the multi-sectoral team that closely monitors the administration of the exam gives weekly reports, which are quite comprehensive. The fanfare of top this, top that, should now take a final rest. And that is my take tonight.